Welcome to our short Webinette on the keys to fast customer call responses. Let's get started.
What you see here would be maybe a landing page that anybody in customer service might be on at any point in time during the day. And when that call comes in from the customer, there are a lot of ways to go about getting to that customer record and have that at your fingertips. One of the ways would be to just search on the client name, right? So if I get a call from General Equipment, who's a big customer of mine, I can just use the global search and go ahead and find information about General Equipment. So right away, the system's brought up a customer record for me to choose from, maybe some of the current opportunities that I would have going on with them, and the most relevant records. Of course, I could search the whole universe of everything in the system for that keyword, but I would just from here could navigate directly to the customer's record right from that search. So that's one of the ease of use capabilities that gets you right to be able to address your client's needs. The second thing it might be interesting to mention is that although we would be, I just did that inquiry based on the client's name and just went out and found it. There's other technologies around and in place in our customers that might also ease that phone call right into the customer service rep. So of course, there might be computer telephony integration in place to bring up the account. Boom, as soon as the call comes in, finding the right service agent based on whatever metrics are appropriate for them, and passing that call, opening the record, having that ready at your fingertips. There are a lot of great partners on the App Exchange built in the side of the same environment. I think probably everybody on here is familiar with the whole App Exchange capability, but we can just pop over there and just mention it while we're here. So if you wanted that telephony kind of approach, then you could just go in and have a look at a number of the opportunities that there are to do that within that Salesforce ecosystem or environment. So quite a long list of them here, 78 results, as you can see. So we're not going to promote any of those in particular, but there's certainly a lot there to work with. Then another thing to keep in mind is that the capability for any kind of inquiry to come in from a number of different channels, right? So there's all kinds of automation that we can work with you on to enable, for instance, a web initiated conversation or an email turning into a case in the system, as well as picking up the phone. What we know about channel preferences for customers is that simple inquiries, customers really like to do the web, do the email, even pick up more live agent conversations from the web rather than actually picking up the phone and calling when they have those very simple inquiries. Where's my shipment? What's my tracking number? What's my balance on my account? All of those kinds of things. When we start to get into complex inquiries, then that might be different. And a lot of times, even to this day, the live agent talking to a human being is much more preferred to those other methods. So a customer may be calling in, may not be calling in. When they do call in, of course, depending on your internal procedures, you may go directly and try to solve their problem, or you may initiate a case. So here we are in the customer record, and right from here, if it were my company procedure to initiate a case associated with this call in order to capture that information for other metrics and quality purposes and performance purposes, we could do that right from here, of course. So that would be up to your own internal procedures. I think that also something to keep in mind frequently with the global search is that customers might be calling about a specific serial number, sometimes a specific shipment, a specific number of some sort. And so if they're calling in with a serial number in mind that they want to find out information about, is it still under warranty, that kind of thing, that global search works for us as well here. So if somebody calls in and says, hey, you know, what is my serial number 234568 still under warranty? I can just go ahead and use that global search, and I can see it'll take me into shipped item warranty information or inventory by serial number. And of course, I could navigate directly to one of those places, but then I could also see that warranty information in my 360-degree view of the customer that we're in. So if we have a look at the type of information that's available here, the purpose of this page is to really unite on a single view all of the information that's relevant to your customers, so that any information need that they have is right at your fingertips. Any action that you might want to do, like creating a quick sales order, changing a sales order, changing an address, assigning them to somebody else, all of this is right at your fingertips. Okay, so we're looking at things like what are the open opportunities, current and prior year sales history, open quotations. There might be a variety of quotes that are open, so here we have some quotes that have come in from Salesforce CPQ. On the left, we're looking at a margin, year-to-date margin on these orders from this customer. We might be looking at a backlog chart or open sales orders that are unfulfilled at this point, open invoices, an aging analysis to the left. And so as we go through, you'll see maybe contract masters. So think about service contracts that they might have in place, any of my customer contacts, any of their manufacturing orders for their make to order kind of equipment that they're dealing with with our company, Valley Manufacturing, any field service work orders, the ability to go in and grab that shipment information, pass on that tracking number, that live link, product information, and more and more and more, including, of course, return material authorizations and all the warranty information, device history records, and so on. So, and more, it's hard to even cover in a few minutes what all you can get to from this single point of launching to get to your customer. And then also being able to log the calls, creating new events, creating new tasks, creating an email that's going to go out to the customer, all from this panel, and then seeing that activity up until this point, right? So all of this is there at your fingertips to dive in and answer those inquiries that come in from the customer in a very easy and polished way, so that they're, that the customer gets the answer that they want. They get it efficiently. They can get it in one phone call. Don't have to be passed around to a number of different departments and so on.
That's really great, Rylene. I appreciate that. And it really shows the power of bringing all that information together in one place in terms of being able to, drive the role of the customer service agent to really be focused on providing the customer what they need, rather than having to struggle to get the information that they ultimately need to provide the customer. I thought you did, you brought up some great points in terms of the different methods of, even further automating these types of capabilities, like you showed, going out and integrating CTI capabilities from, partners within the App Exchange, or, connecting things off of web to case, since depending on the type of inquiry a customer might want, like you articulated, they might be having multiple different methods that they want to communicate to you, ultimately still being served by all the information available. So I think that's great. Appreciate that. So let's go through another scenario. So let's assume that you're an equipment manufacturer and an equipment parts distributor. And let's say a customer has a piece of equipment that they're going to shut down for maintenance on Monday. They've ordered a list of parts from us to arrive on Monday, and their maintenance department's just requested one more part in a rush. They forgot something, as often happens, not uncommon out there, certainly. Do we have it? Can it show up in time for what we need to do on Monday so we don't have to delay our maintenance activity further? Can you take us through kind of the concept of, how that process looks and how easy it can be in this environment?
Sure. Yeah, that's great. So that sounds good. So one of the first things, you might, when you get that phone call, you're fielding that, and the customer might have their order number or they might not have their order number. So again, the idea would be, do I have this part in stock? And if I do, can I add it to the sales order for, that's already in place, and then get it on the same shipment that's going to go out to be there for in time. So, so as you can see, one of the things, we have this open sales orders, and if we don't know the sales order, these can be sorted right by date, by order number, et cetera, et cetera. So all of this open order information is available. So if they just put this order in, it's easy, it's at the top of the list. If not, then we can go search for one of the parts that they already have on the order. We could search by their PO number, right? So all of those capabilities are there. But then, so what is the item that you want to order that you want to add to this order? So let's say they want some kind of two-piece clamp. So there's two ways we could approach that. We could pull up the order and have this open and say, oh, let's just go ahead and add it to the order and see the availability. Or we could go into inventory and look and find that clamp, right? So let's explore quickly both ways. We'll take a quick look at either way. So let's start with the inventory side. So we'll go into the inventory side and we'll say a clamp, oops, spell it correctly. A clamping two-piece shaft collar with keyway is what they're looking for. And do you have it in stock? So this way of looking at it is going to give us a quick picture of that item. So let's have a look at that item right here. And so that's going to give us that view of what does the product look like and where do we have it physically located. So as you can see here, this is our item. We have 2 sites, Newark and Los Angeles, that have it in stock right now. And there's 8 of them in Newark and 10 of them in Los Angeles. And we have an open PO to bring these in, but into the San Jose warehouse, but they're not coming in until March 24th. And we can also see here, same kind of 360-degree view. If there's any sales order lines, other demand from other customers where they're where this is being required as an item. So there is an order out there for one of these items for someone. Okay, so that's a quick look. So we know we have a couple, 8 here, 10 there, but what about the order that's in place? So we have some on hand. We know we can get you the 6 that you need. Whether we can join that up with your sales order is a different question now. So we get back to that sales order. So we opened our sales order 10893. So is this the order we're trying to get the parts joined up together with? And I go through and I have a look at that and I say, okay, it looks like you have a DIN 976 on order here and a couple of spacers, and it's supposed to ship to be at your location on March the 8th, Monday. So that's great. And the customer confirms, yes, this is the order that I want to add this clamping collar to. So at that point, what do I know about this order? Well, this is being fulfilled from the San Jose warehouse, probably because that's the closest warehouse to the customer. So, but we know that we didn't find that item in the San Jose warehouse, but let's just walk through as if we were going to, okay, go ahead and add the line. and to this order, and then see if we have it in stock. So let's go ahead and add the line. And this would be the second method I mentioned, that you could go right into the sales order, add the line, and find our clamping. Two-piece shaft collar. Throw in a project because we have projects turned on here. The customer wants 6 of these, and the date that they want is the 8th. Let's just go ahead and pick it from the calendar. We'll pick the 8th, and we would ship that tomorrow if we can, right? To get it there by the 8th. And so that's about all we need here. And let's go ahead and put that line item in, and then let's see what the system comes up with. Do we have this on hand in San Jose? Of course, we know the backstory. We don't really have it on hand in San Jose. But so we want the system to kind of give us a clue, though. So I'm just refreshing that page now that that line is in there, because so we have a little bit of a problem here, because we got to ship this by tomorrow to get it there Monday. And our system says the earliest ship date to ship this from a single site is March the 7th. So it's not going to make it out. That's a Sunday. I should have turned that off on my calendar, but anyway. And to get this to the customer in time. So that's not going to fly to ship it from the San Jose warehouse site, right? But I have other options. I might be able to ship it from a different warehouse. The next closest warehouse may be, let's say, Los Angeles. And so if I want to go ahead and review those line details, I could review those here and say, well, okay, let's see where I might be able to get this from. I could go, I should say, I could go through and look line by line and see which of these items will be available and on what date. So I could go through and see the first line item would be available to ship March 5th. And from the San Jose warehouse, the next one is available to ship March 5th. And it's this third item that's not available until March 7th. And why is that? Well, we need 6. And we have an open PO for 2. And then, so those are coming in, but then based on the lead time for the part, we couldn't get those items in here until March the 7th. So this just isn't going to work for us from the San Jose site, but let's just go ahead and see what we have in LA and see if that will work for us. So let's go ahead and process this order through the LA site. And in fact, they do have everything in stock. If we look and see here, every one of them can ship by March the 5th using the LA site. And of course, if it ships tomorrow, it can still be there Monday. Okay, and then we could go through and review the line details as well here and see all of the detail behind that. The other thing that we could do at this point, now that we know that we want to ship it from the LA site, we could just go down here. We could tell the system update the header information and all the line items with the new site so that that will get fulfilled by our warehouse in LA instead of in our San Jose site. So yeah, so that kind of takes us through that scenario.
That's great, Raylene.
Okay.
Appreciate that. And, you know, just imagining being a customer service person and seeing that, you know, global visibility view to all of our inventory positions and being able to quickly act on that inventory to, you know, shift as you did just through this example, you know, to a site that could serve the customer and meet the customer's timing requirements. That was really, you know, 2 things I noticed in that. 1, lots of visibility to all the information necessary to help the customer, and 2, the ease of just a couple of clicks and, you know, you were able to reorient the order to ship from a different site. So super powerful. Appreciate that. So, you know, let's take a look at, you know, if I'm a manager, maybe take this up a step and, you know, you're the CSM, you've driven through the examples you've shown us. But if I'm a manager and kind of owning the you know, owning the performance of the team, owning the performance of the overall business, can you talk a little bit about the kind of analytics and dashboarding and reporting like you're showing here that, a company can leverage in these scenarios to make sure that management has visibility of everything that they need to see in the process.
Yeah, so especially from the customer service perspective, but also all the way across the board, there are a lot of analytics available to help you measure your organization and figure out what your performance levels are and how you're satisfying the customer. So the types of things that we can talk about would be cases opened by month, cases trending, cases against particular product lines, cases by service agents, those that have been opened, how many have been opened, how many have been closed, how long does it take us to close a case? So from the time the case comes in until we get to that customer satisfied, and how does that break out according to our service level agreements? So if it's a critical need versus an urgent need versus a high need, all of this type of data is at our fingertips through the analytics to analyze that case history. And then of course, how do they break out by, in this particular case, aging buckets? So how many cases closed in 7 days or less, or 1 day or less, or 1 hour or less, whatever the appropriate buckets are for your service level agreements. And then how did they get closed out? So how did did we resolve it for the customer? Were they satisfied? Did the customer not respond back when we followed up? Was it a repair? Did we send field service? All of those types of dispositions could be reported and analyzed and sliced and diced really to the ultimate.
Visit rootstock.com/demo to request a personal demo. Thank you for your time.